Hello everyone, my name is billyedelen. I'm currently got a couple of different interests. I'm really big into jiu-jitsu right now, and I've really been doing different mobility work, like Andreo Spina's work and Kelly Starrett, the sub leopard guy. And I feel like I'm missing Brazilian jiu-jitsu training. A lot of times is mobility work. People that talk about they want to get more flexible or they want to get stronger. And I found that since I've been doing jiu-jitsu, like before when I came in, I was a really explosive, powerful athlete, but notice jiu-jitsu requires a lot more smoother and more fluid movement. You have to be more mobile. You have to be strong in weird ways. And so I've gotten away from just normal lifting and just really been applying a lot of just mobility work, strengthening my joints and muscles at in ranges of motion, like Andreo Spina talks about, and you got Hunter Fitness on Instagram and whatnot, and Dewey Nielson and all those guys. So I just kind of want to share what I've been doing, like today what I did, and I can tell a huge difference in terms of when I'm in guard or when I'm in half guard in jiu-jitsu, and when your legs they're cramped up in a weird way in terms of in the bottom of half guard, you're not in a real strong mechanically advantaged point there, as you would be where most people when they strength train you'd be doing squats and big dynamic movements. But when you're stuck on the bottom of someone like that, you don't have the leverage, or not necessarily the leverage, but you don't have the mechanical advantage, like I said, to use all your strength. And so this comes into play to the FRC principles that Andreo Spina speaks about, strengthening at the end of range, at a shortened end or a lengthened end of range of motion. So I hope that kind of makes sense. I know I'm probably throwing some kinesiology and exercise phys terms, so bear with me. And so I just wanted to begin today. I started off with holding my leg here, and Andreo Spina speaks about how to really get your joint to a new range of motion, you have to be able to isometrically hold in that position. You should do max efforts for 15 seconds or so. Okay, and so this will play into the CARs that he does here in a little bit. I'll show you those. But before I get into that, CARs simply stand for controlled articular rotations. And so for your hip, it would just be like this, and you're just rotating through as controlled, trying to create as much tension in the joint as possible. And this can be a great diagnostic tool. You can run through all your joints at the beginning of the day, end of the day, whatnot, just to see how your body's feeling and where some points might be tight and where you need to do some work, or areas where you need to be careful in your training for that day. And so with that movement there, being able to control that type of range of motion, specifically in jiu-jitsu, is very very beneficial if you can be in that range of motion like that, because that's pretty much all jiu-jitsu is. It's in the hips. And so if you can control your hips well like that and be strong in weird ranges of motion, it's going to give you the prerequisite movements to perform better and learn and adapt new techniques and even be creative and create your own. And so I'll start off today. I just prop my leg up, did this at the Y earlier, and then just try to hold this for 15 seconds. As much tension as possible. Brace your spine, your core, and everything. And you do that for 15 seconds, max effort. Okay? And with that, I'm not going to go through and do all my sets, but I did 2 sets of those through all the different ranges of motion, as I'll continue on here. But did that on my right and left sides. And then I would do 2 sets there, then I'm offsetting to where now I'm at a different kind of point in my range of motion here, okay? And now I'm just isometrically holding this as well for another 15. I would hold that for 15. Okay? Then I'll do that here. Same thing. Do that for 15 seconds, okay? I'll do that on my right and left sides. I did 2 sets of 15 at each of those 3 different points. So, point 1, point 2, point 3, 2 sets each side. And also, I'm doing this real internal rotation part right here. And when I did this earlier, I did it on a higher thing to work on expanding my range more. Then I'll just try to hold this up isometrically. Do that for 15 seconds, 2 sets, and then 2 sets on this side. And then when you put that together, I did that to create the movement I showed you earlier, a controlled articular rotation, okay? And so boom, and I had a table or a ledge or something here to kind of help you get your leg higher. So if you can still see, boom, coming through, internally rotating the hip, and then coming down. Up. Okay. And so I did some of that today, and it's really good at creating some good tension in those joints. And I feel like that tension just, you know, like Andreo Spina speaks about how that tension from the isometric contraction teaches the nervous system that not only do we have that range of motion, but we can use it under load. And so when I say under load, it means you can be strong in that range of motion. You know, some people are flexible, they can do the splits, but then trying to use it and be strong with it, they can't. Well, this mobility is strength and flexibility combined together. Okay? That's what I did today. And then I combined that with some banded mobility, some of Kelly Starrett's work. So if you could just imagine, I don't have a band here, but so you got a band wrapped around this tree, okay? Pulling, I'll prop this leg up. It's pulling laterally and kind of at a posterior, moving my hip to the back of the joint capsule. And I got into this stretch here and just fooled around and just felt around for those tight spots like he speaks about in his videos. Again, that's Kelly Starrett, Supple Leopard. Got a couple great books. His YouTube channel is obviously like the thing is shit. But I did that, and then I also did another one where I laid. It's gonna be hard for me to show you here, but I laid on my back with my legs up against the wall, and I wrapped the band around my legs in a fashion where I was laying on my back like so. Band like this, doing this movement, and it's helping cue internal rotation of the hip. And internal rotation of the hip is something that's pretty lacking in a lot of athletes, specifically me, so something I've really been working on, and a lot of this movement stuff has been showing as well. But hold on a second.